Hello, fight fans. Man, did this one seem to creep up on us. Donald Cerrone versus Justin Gaethje. I remember this being announced. Then there was all of the hype last week with Dustin Poirier, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and UFC Abu Dhabi. But we're going to Canada, and we have two guys that do not back up. They walk straight into the fire. Both these guys have said, expect nothing different. Donald Cerrone said he would meet Justin Gaethje in the center of the cage, and they would exchange blows. Justin Gaethje at the weigh-in. Now, Donald Cerrone and Justin Gaethje had been sparring partners. They had trained together at different times. Gaethje said when he gets into the cage, he will not see any friends. He will not see any familiar faces. And he will walk through hell. And then dramatically walked away from the scale. Let's go through the odds of some of the major bouts in this. I'm going to give you some of my predictions, and then we'll get to the prediction on the main event. I'm Mike of Fights with Friends. If you haven't figured that out already, please hit that like button. If you like what I do here, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're notified whenever I drop a new video or go live like today at 3 p.m. Pacific for UFC Donald Cerrone and Justin Gaethje, plus the return of the defensive heavyweight wizard, one of the greatest to ever do it, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Let's break down UFC Alberta. First of all, one of my friends from Canada, Wyatt Matheson, if you're a longtime watcher of the show, you know who Wyatt is. He's been on the show several times, and he's almost always in the chat room. He messaged me right away when the odds to this came out, and he's like, am I drunk? What is going on? Because these odds were weird. And I went and looked at them, and I'm like, wow, man, no, you are spot on. These odds are very strange. So when the odds opened up, let's start out with Nikita Krylov versus Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira was a big favorite. I want to say he was almost a 2-to-1 favorite. And this is why you jump on these things early. Fans figured this out. Nikita Krylov, the line has moved so much, he is now a -125 favorite. Glover is a -106. I think Nikita is on the way up. I think Glover is on the way down. And I'm really worried for Glover in this one, honestly. I love Glover, but I'm afraid he's going to get hurt in this one. I'm afraid he's going to get possibly into a firefight. And Krylov, the younger guy, he's got a lot more on his chin. I'm taking Krylov by knockout on that one. And I would have put some big money on that. You would have went 2-to-1. And I'm sure Wyatt did. The next one that was just insane for odds, Misha Cirkunov versus Jim Crute. Jim Crute was like a -245 against Misha Cirkunov. I don't know who the hell made these odds. They have tightened up significantly, and fight fans obviously are, I mean, if I'm correct, if me and Wyatt are correct, fight fans are smarter than the ones making the odds on this one, because Misha Cirkunov has moved ahead to a slight favorite, -118 to Jim Crute, -106. I can just imagine how much money you guys made if you bet on these. I wish I could bet in Washington State. I'm trying to figure something out right now. But let's go to the next ridiculous odd on this one. Augusto Sakai versus Marcin Tybura. Augustin Sakai, he was about a 2.5-to-1 favorite, believe it or not, over Marcin Tybura. Odds tighten up. Sakai is a -118 favorite now. Marcin Tybura, -106. I take Tybura again by knockout. I think he finishes Sakur, and I have no idea what the thought process was on the odds there on any of those three fights. Not that some of those guys couldn't pull that out, but the fact that they were so far off. You have guys that I would have the favorite being 2 to 2.5 to 1 underdogs. if you missed out on that one like me where I couldn't bet, we might have missed out on our best bets of the year. And I'm sure Wyatt took advantage of that. Let's move to the main event of the evening, though. Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Justin Gaethje. Donald Cerrone comes into this a plus 150 underdog. Gaethje a minus 186. I'm okay with the odds on this one. I understand why they're here. Now, everybody's saying that Justin Gaethje, he's going to come through and he's going to overpower Donald Cerrone. And if he catches him in the first round, he may. Everybody knows Cerrone is a slow starter. This is a 5-round fight, though. And both of these guys had better realize this. Cerrone has been in wars like this his entire career. Now, he is coming off of a fight against Tony Ferguson not so long ago. Justin Gaethje had a lot longer rest after that knockout of James Vick. And then, you know, he got Edson Barbosa not so long ago. People forget, though, Justin Gaethje, just 3-2. He's only 3-2 in the UFC. I mean, how much stock you want to put in that, I don't know. I mean, he has been great as of lately. I think he's definitely a rising prospect, rising contender, but don't ever count out the Cowboy. And this guy, especially if this gets to round 4, I definitely start to lean towards Cowboy. He's going to eat a lot of shots, though, and unfortunately, Justin Gaethje throws a lot of shots. He's a very, very fast starter. Something Justin Gaethje talked about in the lead up to this, though, is when Donald Cerrone and Gaethje used to train, Donald Cerrone knocked Justin Gaethje out in training. That's something a lot of people maybe don't know, and I didn't know until this fight was announced, and Gaethje actually started talking about it. And Gaethje said he would like to get that one back. Will he come in and overcommit? Will he be super motivated? It's hard to say. Cerrone knows he's a slow starter, so he's going to be aware to stay away from the big shots, I think. Something Cerrone has as usually a strength is leg kicks. Ask Edson Barbosa. You do not want to get into a leg kick war with Justin Gaethje. This guy just went to another level in my mind when Edson Barbosa started flipping him with those switch kicks, which Joe Rogan calls the best in the game, and Justin Gaethje says, oh, you want to do that? I'll play your game and I'll beat you at it. And he destroyed Barbosa's legs. He could do that to Cerrone. Cerrone doesn't want to get into a leg kick match. Can Cerrone win a firefight? Absolutely. I could see him doing what Dustin Poirier did. Weather the storm, just going back and forth and being more durable through those 5 rounds. I think once you get into the 4th and 5th round, cardio is going to come into Donald Cerrone's favor. Not that Gaethje doesn't have great cardio. It's obviously he does, but you expend a lot of energy when you throw the amount of shots with the amount of power that Justin Gaethje does. There's just no way about it. You can have the greatest cardio in the world, and if you throw hell at people like that man does, eventually it's gonna wear on you. You're not gonna be 100% in the 4th and 5th round. So where do I lean on this one? I'm gonna go with Gaethje, second round, late second round to maybe 3rd round finish. Don't be surprised though to see Donald Cerrone go for a lot of submissions, and I think if it gets more than halfway through the 4th round, as far as a finish, I think Cerrone probably has the favorite. And for this to go to a decision, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to see. Gaethje could definitely bank some 10-8 rounds early on, so that's hard to see. I would bet Gaethje, though. What do you guys think, though? Let me know down there in the comments. What do you guys think? Did you bet on any of these fights? Did you jump on any of these incredible odds? Are you watching the Fight Companion with me, hopefully? And then later on tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific, Tyson Fury puts on his, puts his undefeated record on the line against another 20-0 heavyweight boxer, Otto. 13 knockouts, and we're going to get to see the defensive wizard at work, see if he can lock up that long-awaited rematch with Deontay Wilder, who, by the way, still has to get past Luis Ortiz, which was one of his very toughest fights ever. But big day of fighting ahead. I'm going to go finish work up so I can join you guys later. Guys, as always, I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses later.